no McDonald's, no traffic lights, but they have polyandry, naked festivals, and a national happiness index. Bhutan is where the unusual becomes the norm. Ready to explore the most mysterious and captivating country in Asia? Bhutan, a hidden gem in the Himalayas, where nature and humans breathe in harmony. Bhutan may not be a large country on the world map. Its land area is roughly the size of the U.S. state of Maryland, but it holds a value few other nations can match: the perfect balance between development and environmental preservation. Nestled between two Asian giants, China and India, Bhutan doesn't follow the frantic path of industrial expansion or urban sprawl. Instead, it has chosen a road less traveled, placing the natural environment at the heart of national policy. What's remarkable is that Bhutan doesn't just protect its forests, it has made them a core part of its national identity. With more than 72% of its land covered in forests, Bhutan not only emits no net carbon, but actually absorbs more CO2 than it produces, making it the world's only carbon-negative country. This is not just an environmental achievement, it's a declaration of life, that a country can progress without sacrificing the green lungs of the planet. While the world continues to debate climate goals and carbon reduction commitments, Bhutan proves that with strategic vision and deep respect for nature, even a small nation can lead the global charge for sustainability. They don't just live in the forest, they live from the forest, with trees forming the very soul of the country and the beating heart of its national philosophy. Think you're living eco-friendly? Bhutan sips its butter tea and says, "Hold my forest, 72% of its calling." And trust us, what comes next about Bhutan will only get stranger and more fascinating. Let's keep going. Bhutan, where happiness is measured by the soul, not by money. In a world where wealth is often measured by GDP and economic performance, Bhutan has taken a different route, one where gross national happiness, GNH, is the compass guiding its development. This isn't just a symbolic idea. Bhutan has implemented it into a national governance framework, where quality of life, social harmony, environmental care, and cultural preservation take precedence over pure economic numbers. Though Bhutan may not have a strong economy or high literacy rates, it is still hailed as the happiest country in the world. Why? Because its people don't live to consume. They live to connect with each other, with nature, and with their inner selves. In Bhutanese society, it's hard to tell who's rich or powerful because income inequality is minimal and social class distinctions are nearly non-existent. Here, you might see a prince playing soccer with village kids. No entourage, no distance. Crime rates are nearly zero. People believe in karma, live with compassion, and place deep value on moral character. What may seem old-fashioned to some is in fact the very foundation of a strong, contented society. One where happiness doesn't come from wealth, but from a peaceful, meaningful way of life. The world counts money. Bhutan counts peace. Strange, right? And trust us, things are about to get even stranger. Let's keep going. Marriage in Bhutan, where gender equality is a way of life, not just a slogan. In Bhutan, polyandry and polygamy aren't relics of the past. They're living practices, freely chosen and socially respected. What makes Bhutan stand out is its rare gender balance. Just as men may have multiple wives, women too can have multiple husbands. These arrangements are often less about romance and more about preserving family unity and lineage, deeply rooted in clan-based traditions. While much of the world still debates gender roles, Bhutan quietly leads by example. Women often hold the central role in the household, with husbands moving into the wife's family home after marriage, a cultural reversal that remains controversial elsewhere. If a divorce occurs, women are legally protected, and men are obligated to offer financial compensation or support. But this empowerment isn't just on paper. Bhutanese women are visible, confident, and free, socializing late, running businesses, and engaging in politics without the shadow of patriarchal control. Their beauty lies not in brands or cosmetics, but in their freedom, confidence, and joyful independence. Still, don't romanticize it too fast. Bhutan fiercely guards its cultural integrity, making marriage with foreigners extremely rare. This blend of openness and preservation creates a nation both progressive and proudly rooted, where love, equality, and identity walk hand in hand. Heard the words polyandry and polygamy and got a little too excited? Bhutan winks and says, "Easy there, marrying our citizens isn't that simple." And no, the surprises don't end here. Buckle up for what's next. A royal love story, when destiny speaks at first sight. The love story of King Jigme Khesar Namgyal, Wangchuck Ksem, and Queen Jetsun Pema is a modern fairy tale that has touched hearts across Bhutan and beyond. At just 70 years old, Jetsun met the 17-year-old crown prince and boldly declared, "When I grow up, I want to marry you." 14 years later, in 2011, that dream became reality. Jetsun became the youngest queen in the world. What makes their story remarkable isn't just romance or royalty, but the king's personal vow. Though Bhutanese tradition allows polygamy, he chose lifelong monogamy. In a culture where multiple marriages are legal, this choice became a powerful symbol of loyalty and evolving values. In a world of fleeting connections, their bond is a quiet yet powerful reminder. Love built on commitment still holds its place, even in a palace. Bhutan, the fortress nation that guards its beauty. In Bhutan, you don't just travel, you earn your way in. With its high-value, low-impact tourism model, the country requires all visitors to book through a local agency and pay $100 per day sustainable development fee. This isn't a tourist tax, it's a commitment to preserve Bhutan's environment, heritage, and national identity. Bhutan doesn't chase mass tourism, it guards against it. The money supports conservation, while the strict entry system reflects a deeper philosophy. Tourism should enrich, not exploit. Adding to this exclusivity is Paro Airport, Bhutan's only international gateway. Nestled among Himalayan peaks with a notoriously short runway, only a handful of elite pilots are qualified to land there. Arriving in Bhutan isn't a convenience, it's a ceremonial entry into a protected world. In a global landscape of over-tourism, Bhutan stands as a spiritual fortress, where each visitor is not just a traveler, but a respectful guest in a sacred land. No traffic lights. When trust replaces technology. In Thimphu, the capital and cultural heart of Bhutan, you won't find a single traffic light, no red, yellow, or green. In a modern city, that sounds impossible. But in Bhutan, it makes perfect sense. The country tried installing traffic signals back in 1998, but removed them after just 24 hours. Why? Because traffic lights felt too cold, too impersonal. People preferred the familiar sight of traffic officers standing at intersections, smiling, waving, and directing vehicles with a human touch. For the Bhutanese, traffic isn't just about moving cars. It's a form of social connection. It's slow living in motion. That doesn't mean Bhutan has no traffic rules. On the contrary, drivers are remarkably respectful. They yield without honking, wait their turn, and rarely rush. Here, cooperation and courtesy form the real traffic system. No traffic lights, not because Bhutan is behind the times, but because it chooses a more human way forward. Sometimes, a warm wave of the hand is more effective than even the most advanced technology. No doesn't mean refusal. The art of politeness in Bhutanese culture. In Bhutan, a dinner invitation is never accepted on the first offer. Not because the guest dislikes the food, but because declining initially is a gesture of humility, grace, and respect. When a host invites you to eat, the customary first response is often, "Meu, meu," meaning no, no, accompanied by a polite hand covering the mouth. This isn't mere politeness. It's a deep-rooted cultural ritual. It's not until the third offer, or after a few sincere invitations, that the guest finally agrees. And that moment isn't just about food. It's a symbolic step in relationship building, where mutual respect and empathy are carefully nurtured. Unlike in many Western cultures, where refusing an offer might be seen as impolite, Bhutanese etiquette views this ritual as a way to strengthen community bonds and social harmony. More than a behavior, this custom reflects a philosophy of life. Always receive hospitality with humility, and only accept once you have shown gratitude and deep respect. Life without McDonald's? Bhutan says no thanks to global brands. While the rest of the world is filled with golden arches and handwritten names on Starbucks cups, Bhutan remains a curious oasis untouched by any global brand. But here's the catch. It's not because they're banned. It's because Bhutanese people simply aren't interested. The market has never been fertile ground for global franchises because Bhutanese culture doesn't revolve around consumption. People here prefer traditional values, home-cooked meals, and small local eateries serving authentic dishes, not hamburgers, soup, or almond milk lattes. With a population of just around 800,000 and a lifestyle deeply connected to nature, the absence of big-name chains is a conscious reflection of a society that knows what it needs and what it doesn't. One local entrepreneur once remarked that if a big franchise opened in Bhutan, it would likely close within months, not due to regulation, but because of culture. Life in Bhutan isn't shaped by marketing, but by community, simplicity, and heritage. Things global brands can't bottle, package, or sell. While the world craves fast food, Bhutan gently replies, "I choose fast peace." No burgers, no lattes. And yet, life here is wonderfully chill. Curious what's next? Keep reading. Healthcare in Bhutan. A right, not a privilege. In Bhutan, the concept of free healthcare is not just a political slogan. It's a genuine commitment by the state and a fundamental right of every citizen. From basic services like checkups and medication to advanced treatments abroad, all medical costs are fully covered by the government. Even when a patient requires treatment overseas, something many countries consider an exception or a personal expense, Bhutan ensures no one is left alone. The government pays not only for the treatment, but also for the airfare. This makes Bhutan one of the few countries in the world with a fully public healthcare system. No private hospitals at all. It's a way to ensure equal quality of care for everyone, from the poorest villager to a government official. In a world where healthcare is increasingly commercialized, where patients must often choose between their health and their wallet, Bhutan stands as an admirable paradox. Not because it's wealthy, but because it has clear national priorities. People come first, not profit. The existence of such a universal healthcare system speaks not only to governance, but also to a profound social philosophy. Health is the foundation of happiness, and happiness is the ultimate goal of every government. No online banking, when money moves at a human pace. In a world where financial transactions happen with just a few clicks, Bhutan seems to go against the grain. Here, you can't open a bank account online, and you can't transfer money through mobile apps. If you need to do anything, you'll have to step outside, visit the bank in person, meet a real person, and sign with a real pen, as if you're living in an offline version of the modern world. But that doesn't mean Bhutan is outdated. On the contrary, they've consciously chosen a slower rhythm of life, one where human connection takes precedence over digital efficiency. While the world races ahead with technology, Bhutan is like an antique clock, not fast, but accurate, and more importantly, deeply human. Instead of a cold chatbot, you'll be greeted by a warm smile at the counter. Instead of a one-time password, you'll sign your name by hand. In Bhutan, finance still carries the spirit of tradition, where personal relationships matter just as much as the numbers in your account. Bhutanese Festivals, where culture wears color and sacred rituals. If you think a festival is just about parades and fireworks, Bhutan will make you think again. Here, festivals are not mere celebrations. They are spiritual ceremonies, sacred moments where the past, present, and the unseen world come together. Events like Parotsechu and Jambe Lakangdrup aren't just cultural highlights. They are deep spiritual gateways into the Bhutanese soul. At Jambe Lakangdrup, one of the most intriguing features is the naked dance, a ritual meant to drive away evil spirits and invoke blessings. By the flickering firelight at night, 16 men dance in silent reverence, as if communicating directly with the divine. Elsewhere at Parotsechu, thousands gather at the ancient Parodizong fortress, dressed in traditional attire, to witness mask dances that portray mythologies and Buddhist teachings. Festivals in Bhutan aren't meant for fleeting entertainment. They're living rituals that pass on cultural memory, spiritual values, and communal harmony. Every step, every costume, every drumbeat tells a timeless story. These are not performances to be watched, but experiences to be felt and lived. Thimphu, a quiet capital in a noisy world. While many Asian capitals have become concrete jungles of skyscrapers and traffic jams, Thimphu, the capital of Bhutan, feels like a living fairy tale. No traffic lights, no blaring horns, just the sound of the wind whispering through pine trees and monastery bells echoing from mountaintops. Perched at over 2,300 meters above sea level, Thimphu is one of the highest capitals in the world, and perhaps one of the most peaceful. The golden Dordenma Buddha statue, standing over 51 meters tall, looks out from above the city, facing south, to offer protection, according to Buddhist belief, to the direction most in need. The quiet atmosphere around the statue makes it easy for visitors to slip into a meditative state, even without trying. Thimphu is also the cultural heart of Bhutan, home to the National Library, which houses one of the largest books in the world, not just in size, but in intellectual weight. Temples, fortresses, and forests blend into one another, creating a city where the boundary between nature and architecture seems to dissolve. In Thimphu, you don't just sightsee, you immerse. This isn't just a capital, it's a sacred lantern, glowing with stillness and warmth in a beautifully simple way. Bhutan, a mountain paradise that doesn't need the ocean. There are no sprawling beaches or turquoise tropical seas here, yet Bhutan still leaves visitors breathless, thanks to the awe-inspiring stillness of the Himalayas. Its beauty doesn't scream for attention, but rather quietly touches the soul. One of Bhutan's most iconic landmarks is the Taksang Palphug Monastery, better known as Tiger's Nest. Perched precariously on a vertical cliff nearly 3,000 meters above sea level, it appears to float in the sky, both majestic and surreal. Reaching it is no simple stroll. Visitors hike for hours along winding stone steps, through pine forests and waterfalls. But the journey itself is essential. Each step clears the mind. Each breath becomes a silent prayer. Beyond Tiger's Nest, Bhutan captivates with Phobjika Valley, a pristine, mist-veiled land of deep forests and traditional wooden homes. It's also the seasonal haven for the endangered black-necked cranes, symbols of good fortune and natural balance. Then there's Doshula Pass, rising over 3,000 meters, where you can witness golden sunrises spill over blankets of snow. Here, 108 stupas stand in perfect symmetry, like spiritual sentinels chanting in the wind. This isn't just a scenic spot. It's a place where you stand still beneath the heavens, humbled and grateful to exist. No beaches, no islands, just mountains, so breathtaking that even the sea might feel a little jealous. And the best part? The views may be priceless, but the cost of experiencing them is surprisingly gentle. Ready to be amazed again? Let's go on. Bhutan. Simple living, modest costs, invaluable life. While the cost of living is skyrocketing worldwide, Bhutan still holds onto a gentler rhythm, not just spiritually, but financially too. With about $1,250 per month, you can live comfortably surrounded by mountains, breathing crisp air, and enjoying a life deeply connected with nature. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in central Thimphu costs only around $130 a month, and just $80 a month outside the center, numbers almost unthinkable in most major cities. Utilities like electricity, heating, water, and waste services come to around $40 to $50 a month. Healthcare is completely free, and local produce is fresh, delicious, and affordable. You don't need a high income to feel abundant in Bhutan, because abundance here doesn't come from luxury brands or fat bank accounts. It comes from a humble home, a warm meal, and peace of mind. Life here isn't a race, it's a journey to savor. And that philosophy is woven deep into the Bhutanese way of life. Bhutanese cuisine, where spice is both flavor and identity. In Bhutan, chilies aren't just seasoning, they're the main event. While most cuisines sprinkle a little spice, in Bhutan, chilies are a culinary language, a flavor statement that shows up in every meal from sunrise to nightfall. It's more than a preference. It's how Bhutanese people combat the cold and awaken the senses in the high mountains. The national dish, imadachi, blends fiery fresh chilies with rich local cheese. For spice lovers, it's a thrilling experience. For others, it's a challenge. Either way, it's a source of national pride and an unmistakable signature of Bhutanese identity. They don't just eat it, they live it. Still, not everyone can handle the heat. Bhutanese cuisine also offers gentler options: buckwheat and corn pancakes, or joja maru, a chicken stew infused with mild herbs. And of course, there's suja, the famous butter tea made with yak butter and salt. Strange at first sip, but wonderfully warming in the mountain chill. Bhutanese food may not be fancy, but it's real, just like the people who prepare it. From chilies sun-dried on rooftops to hand-ground grains, every bite tells a story of honesty, simplicity, and soul. And that's what makes Bhutan's spice not just hot, but unforgettable. Bhutan isn't just a destination, it's an invitation to live differently. A quiet, green, and deeply surprising world. Are you ready to step in?